You know, I was feeling like I had a bit of a down month until I physically held all of the books for that thumbnail, so maybe March wasn't too bad. Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to be doing my March wrap up, and yeah, I felt like there wasn't quite as many things, possibly because some of them were short, and then a couple of those were bigger ones that I was finishing. But overall, I feel like I had a pretty decent month. Kind of some mixed things here and there, but it was kind of just a chill month where I read whatever sounded good at the time, and especially when April was going to be a really busy readathon month, that was kind of nice. So let's jump in and talk about it. So first off, I was finishing up a couple of the holdovers from the end of February, including Eluthian, A Tale of the Fromir by Sam Middleton. And this is the one it's very like fantasy in a sci-fi setting, and I talked about, and just has really cool lore and world building, and there's like elves and dwarves and gnomes, and they live in this big tunnel complex that was created by an elder civilization that had all this weird technology. And so it was a book that I had some issues with some of the execution of some things, but it just was so many interesting things that were happening that I had a really fun time with it. I do have a review for that and just about everything we're going to talk about that's out here as well, that you can check out if you do want to know more. But yeah, that one was I had started it, and then like a couple of things here I had put down until I was that was actually March. There was a lot of like picking things back up because I was more in the mood for them, and it ended up really just pulling me through. It moved very quickly. There's a lot for a pretty short novel, so doing a lot of really cool world building in a short amount of time. Something that's decidedly not a short novel. I was also finishing up Shadow March by Tad Williams, which I was much more mixed on than I ever really thought I would be. Everybody says that it's very good, but it's very different from Memories of Sorrow and Thorn, and that is very true. I understand now, because I did like this overall, but this was I think a 3-star for me, which I was expecting it to be higher. And it was just, this one did take me a while to get into it, and it's more so character focused, but it's kind of like a close character story we're not really like going outside of the city. Most of it's taking place not even just in the city, but in the keep. And so it just was not quite what I was looking for, but this is something really different. Although there's some interesting stuff set up, and I think that a lot of this is just getting ready to go big, because Tad Williams does tend to start slow and then go really big. So I'm still going to be continuing. I'm not going to be reading them quite as quickly as I had originally planned at this point, I think, just because I'm going to let it sit a little bit before I continue. But I do have a video talking more about that as well. But so I think I want to read the rest of the series before I fully judge it, but I did struggle a bit with this one. So I think if you're somebody who's found some of Tad's other work to be slow, this one's probably not for you, because this is the one that even I thought was a bit too slow. Although it definitely, a lot of what he's doing and the writing, it's still Tad, so it's good. It's really good. It's just this one was a bit less to my taste. But those two I did need to get finished up from the month before. And then the first thing I jumped into after was The Bone Ships by R.J. Barker. This is another one, actually, I had picked up, I think, in February, and I just was not feeling it, so I put it down. And then I picked it back up, and I flew through this, and I had a really good time with it. And if I didn't very specifically have other things I needed to get to before the month was over, I probably would have continued on to the second book. But that one is just, it's not what I expected from it. It's my first R.J. Barker, and I'm very interested to continue this series and check out his other stuff. But again, with the world building was something that really stood out. There's a lot of it, but it's also done in that way that's very difficult, where it's just almost like casual world building. You find as you go. But this one's also a very much a character-focused story, but it's one of those stories that focuses on a different character than you'd think. It focuses on the young man who's a very weak captain of a ship where like people are sentenced to, basically it's like death to go, and then another very charismatic person comes and takes over, and she's like, I'm the captain, look at me, I'm the captain now, that whole thing. And it's usually, you'd think that's the character you'd be following, but no, we're not following that character. And just seeing the lore, the action, everything happening, really interesting stuff set up, and I'm so curious to see where that one goes. So that was a really fun one as well. And then I did also, right around there, I did Ravine of Blood and Shadow by D.P. Pryor or Derek Pryor. I've seen both. This is the first book in the Annals of the Nameless Dwarf. I did end up doing that one on audio, and that was a patron pick. And this is one I did not really care for a whole lot. I think a lot of people would like it. I did say in my review as well, this was not for me. But if you like, it has a little bit of a game-like feel, which that's always hit or miss for me. It's not super heavy, but the further you get in, I definitely was feeling it. But also, it was just kind of the style and humor just never quite landed for me, and that's kind of it. So if you like dwarves drinking and carousing and all that kind of stuff, I think there's a lot that you might like in here, and this one will be one that others would enjoy more than I did for sure, but didn't quite work for me, but was a pretty quick overall one to get through. So there was that worked out. And then I've been working on In the Eye of Heaven by David Keck, which this is a reread for me. This is the buddy read I was doing. That there was, I said there was almost nobody joining. I had one person that was in the buddy read, and they've since dropped out of the buddy read. So it was just me. I'm still going to be reading the next two over the next 2 months because I had a fantastic time with this. I actually enjoyed this, I think, more than I did the first time. I remembered liking it, but it fits even better, I feel like, with my taste now. And I have a video a review that will be coming out this week for that one as well. I did a series spotlight on the series, but it's really great, gritty medieval, but it's such an epic fantasy type of world. It's very different, even though there's a lot of feel of stuff you might see from medieval periods in our world, but it's a very different world with just a rich history and the lore and the folklore. And it's like if you took a medieval time period and every superstition, every bit of folklore was all true, and it's just they're running into all of these things, and it's our main character Durand, who is, he's a big strong guy, but he's just a man with a sword, and having to fight all of these forces much bigger than himself, and I enjoyed the heck out of it. So I'll still be absolutely continuing with reading one book per month and doing book 2 next month. I just think I might be doing that alone, which is okay. I know it's a series that it's pretty unknown, and also there's no audio, which makes it kind of harder for people to give a chance. I know for sure, but hey, you can always join if you want to. It's a good one. So, and then the random one, I got this for $2 at my local half price books, and I saw the cover and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna grab it because it's Wayland cover. This was not good. I felt like it probably wasn't going to be, but I was willing to give it a shot. This is Beyond the Drock's Teeth by Marsha J. Bennett. It is a miscellaneous fantasy you've never heard of from the 80s. And this was, actually, I just did a kind of sort of review, sort of just talking about it type of video on it, because it was kind of like a B movie, and just like reading a B movie, and there were so many kind of ridiculous, weird things. And so while I didn't like this, I had a lot of fun reading it, and it's made me kind of want to try some just other random ones where I just pick an interesting looking cover and give it a shot, because I used to do that more. I used to really go and I would pick out random books and get them for cover buy, especially with mass markets that I can find cheaply, and be like, oh, it looks cool, I'm gonna grab it, not know really much about it, and try it. And I've had some hits and I've had some big misses doing that as well. This one was definitely more on the miss side, but I had a fun time reading it, so it all worked out ultimately. Then I then did Sundered Moon by Zamar Amar, and I did a good chunk of this on audio because the author was kind of to send me both audio and physical. But I also the physical books are beautiful, so I always with the first one I actually mostly read physical, even though I did some audio. This one it was more of a mix. But I just I love these naked hardcovers. And I actually didn't realize when I had started this that it is a duology. So this is book 2 of 2. And so I was thinking that after all of the stuff set up in book 1, I thought we were going to have 2 more books to really come to a lot of resolutions. And no, it's in here. And this is a pretty short book. And so this moved so fast. There was so much happening. There was so much action. There's so many really, really great character arcs going on. I'm going to read the novella, which actually is right behind me. Sojourn of Sunset Forest, which one of my favorite covers in recent memory. I love this cover so much. But I'm going to be reading this. This will be the first thing I read in April. So I'm going to probably wait and do a series review to talk about it. But as far as ending, because that's a prequel, and as far as ending, I think Sun Moon did a really great job. There's a lot of things that are wrapped up really, really well, and I think the kind of effect, you can still definitely see the Abercrombie influence, but this does some things differently than the things that I did not like with the way Abercrombie did. And there was one character that I really liked in the first one that I felt like their character arc didn't progress as much as the others, and I was kind of looking for more there. But also characters that I hated in the first book, I ended up very invested in their arcs as well, and so it just something that kept me really really invested. And the world building is still the thing that is just super cool about this world, and so I'm excited to keep reading more and to see what this author does next for sure. I then did have I had a review copy, The Heretic, Book 1 of Runes and Rune by Nathan Allen. This unfortunately ended up being a DNF for me, but it wasn't due to any like, oh, I don't like this or like that. It was really just I realized this is not really for me. This is more so on the YA side and in sort of a dystopian setup. It's the main character is his mother and his younger brother. They live in like the slums after some stuff had happened in the past. And he's trying to like he's going to the university and trying to graduate and become very successful so that he can take care of his family and keep his younger brother from being pressed into military service. But then there's all these kinds of challenges in the way. And it's just that kind of the premise, the setup, the some of those tropes that it's exploring are just ones that I really, really don't like. And I know a lot of people do. And it was with doing that, I'm just like, I quickly realized something. I'm not going to have a good time with this. So unfortunately, this was one I put down with it as well. But I read about 15% of it, and it was well written. I think if you like YA or you like some of those tropes, because I know a lot of people do, I definitely one to check out. I would recommend, because it's setting up some interesting things, and like with the magic and some of the handling, it just was one of those things where it's like it's hitting a lot of the check boxes for things that I don't personally like, and so I decided to put that one down. And then we have the one that I've been reading for quite some time, because only a chapter here and there, Blood in the Mist by Hope Meirelles, which this is a library copy that I really have to return because it can't be renewed anymore. And this one I was reading out loud to my daughter, again, because it seems to lend itself really well to like ridiculous over-the-top British accents pretty well. So that's kind of how I was doing it. And I will have a review coming out this week as well for this one. I'm so mixed on it because there's a lot of things I wasn't super into. I think part of it is reading this one out loud. I would be curious if there's audio for this and what it would be like. But reading it out loud, doing all of the emphasis, is reading some of the ridiculous lines in it. It has that sort of almost Shakespearean flair to it with some of these situations that are happening. It is also, though, about 100 years old, and it does absolutely feel it. And in a lot of ways, there just was not, it didn't always feel the most cohesive in some ways, even though it's all building towards something. And it just felt like there was some odd sides, and like the style, it is really well written. There's some beautiful passages, and there's some just fun things in it. But also, just the big thing is it felt very dated. And I enjoyed it enough, but I feel like I don't know how much I think me reading it out loud to my daughter helped a lot, because I was reading it, I was having a lot of fun with it, especially some of the ridiculous lines and the different like unique curses in there, and like just exclamations were kind of fun all on their own. But so an interesting one I'm glad that I experienced, but not one that's going to be going on like a favorite list anytime soon. And then I am filming this slightly before the month ends, but I'm going to be spending the rest of the month on A Man Rides Through, which is a chonker. I am triple formatting this. I am doing ebook as well as the physical book, and then I have the audiobook as well. And this is a long book. So I think the audio is like 30 hours, and this physical edition is like 700 pages almost. And so yeah, it's a long one, but I've been really wanting to get to this. This is part 2 of Morden's Need, and it really is part 2. It's not even really book 2. It's technically a duology, but it picks up immediately and starts with like the first one ends with chapter 26. This starts with chapter 27. So really is one long story here. But I'm really enjoying this. I liked the first one a lot. I had a lot of things where it was not a lot of it wasn't even necessarily to my style, but I thought it was doing a lot of interesting things, setting up a lot of interesting things. And the character study I really liked. This one, though, is just we're really opening up. We're seeing a lot more of the magic in really interesting ways. We're finding out more about the world. We're really diving in more with the characters, and they've had a lot of great growth. And there's so much action and just things happening constantly. I was not expecting so much to go on in this book, and it's really, really been a good time. So I am just over half. So I'm gonna have to really push to try to finish it. I mean, I'm filming this on the 30th, so it's like I'm not gonna finish it. So I'm gonna have to see where that leaves me with starting readathon in April. I shouldn't have started a really long book right before the end of the month, but I'll have to see where I end up and see if I can get as much as I can. So at least I'm not too delayed. But yeah, I'm having a really good time with that as well. So I'll definitely do a video about this series once I am done with the whole thing as well. But that's kind of where I ended up and what I'll be working on for the rest of March. I do, like I mentioned, have reviews either already out or coming out very soon for everything here. And also, if you want to know what I'm reading for April, I do have a video for that too, so I'll make sure I link that below as well. But that is it for March. So like I said, some mixed results, but also I had a good time and was really just embracing reading what felt like what I wanted to read at the time. So I had a good time with that as well. But let me know your thoughts on any of these books that I've talked about, as well as some of your highlights from March. And otherwise, that is it for this one. So make sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Check the links in the description as always for the Patreon if you want to support what I do, as well as the Wizardly Enclave Discord if you want to chat books, whether any of these books, other books, really anything at all. It's a lot of fun. We'd love to have you. And of course, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe.